Hello, Jim Farr, lead pastor at Emmanuel United Methodist Church in Noblesville, Indiana, coming to you today with some thoughts from the far side. A little different than the last 2 weeks when I was in Mesa, Arizona, and then on Route 66, I'm coming to you from Noblesville, where it's very cold and snowy, but right now it's a beautiful sunshiny afternoon. We're doing part 3 in the final part of our series and talking about young adults and can we bring young adults into the life of the church? Is there any reason young adults would even want to come into the life of the church? And one of the things I believe is a key to bringing anyone into the church, but perhaps even more important with young adults, is that we create a ministry of presence. I think it's something the church needs to do everywhere, to go and to be with people, to be present for them when they're going through their struggles, to sit with them, to talk with them, to say, I'm here for you, or I want to get to know you. And then perhaps in the middle of that conversation, they'll let us know something they want to offer back to us. What I've really discovered in conversations and listening to talkback sessions with youth and young adults is that the number one thing they want is to be accepted. I've heard things said like this: I just really wish my parents would tell me they believe I can do whatever it is I want to do. Or they would just encourage me as I am and not make me feel like I have to be fixed to achieve something. There may be a period when we need to go to all young adults as the church and to apologize, to say we've messed up. We haven't built the kind of relationships that we should have. We've tried to attack them with programs and thoughts and ideas and not really build relationships, not really have a ministry of presence. So now's an opportunity for us to do that. If there's hope, it will lie in this ministry of presence. Of course, as I've talked about the past couple of weeks, one of the things that makes it hard for young adults to even consider the church is that they find, or fail to find, I should say, anything redemptive in our faith. They see people that claim to believe in the Bible and claim to live the Bible, but their actions are not consistent with their words, and their actions are definitely not consistent with the themes that run through the Bible. One young man recently said, I went to church with my grandparents because they were having Bible study. I popped in just as the pastor was saying, hurting people need to come to the church. That seems to be a prominent thought in the life of the church. But then the young man went on to say, and I love the word he used, he said, but their punchline is, the church is to go into the world and do. Punchline. Maybe that's what mission and vision have become, somewhat of a punchline, because we truly fail to live them out. But I do think the church has, over the years, showed and opportunities to and been in the community at important times. And they fought for justice and they fought against oppression at different times. But they don't always do it. Sometimes we fall back to the old idea. The church is what happens inside the four walls. And we fail to see the opportunities to be a ministry of presence. Another young man who was having a conversation from a book I read said this, and I love this. If we could do this, hear what he said, how he responded in talking about the people from the church. They came out and let the word move them. They let the word push them. They let the word come out of them, and that is exactly what they're supposed to do. It was in their walk. It was clear in their willingness to step back and let us lead and let us have a big part in what was happening. They learned to see that God was already at work in us and in the situation before they got there, and they learned from us. So they stood beside us. They stood with us. Sometimes they stood behind us, and they prayed for us. And they were present in building an ongoing relationship. They provided a ministry of presence. We truly cannot be disciples unless we're promoting justice. It is in our baptismal vows. If we're not willing to use our theological and prophetic resources to help fight against the problems in our community, our culture, our society, and bring attention to them, then how can we expect young people, young adults who see those problems, who see the realities of life and what has happened around them, how could they ever believe in or ever even want to be a part of the church? I think that's a key. We have to be a ministry of real presence, of genuine presence. One young man in the book I read said, I don't talk to Christians. I don't deal with Christians. And so the man that he was relating to in the book said, so I went back and talked to him. I just sat down and started talking with him about the community and life in general, building a conversation. And as I built that conversation, I think I was somehow able to help things begin to change. And also I was being tested by these young people. They tested me when they found out, and when they found out my word was consistent with my actions and that my word was consistent with who I was, they found me consistent enough to build a trust in me. And building trust in conversations in a ministry of presence is the beginning in changing lives. And I think that's where the focus of the church must be in reaching out to young adults and really all people. How can we make an impact that people will see in our communities? How can we change their lives? How can we change the lives of young people who may live within yards or miles of our church? It is crucial that the church begins to emerge as a community leader and as a champion for justice. And the church always needs to get back to its number one focus of changing lives. If we don't change lives, why do we exist? And we need to begin by changing the lives inside those four walls before we can change the lives of those outside the four walls. So here's my invitation to anyone listening to this. Whether you're a part of my church, you live in this community, I want to invite you to come and to be with us, to become a ministry of presence, to go into the world, and you'll discover something. You're going to meet Jesus because Jesus is already there, and you will help Jesus transform lives. And here's the amazing thing. Your life will be transformed at the same time. We cannot be transformed in the safety of a pew or within the four walls of the church. Transformation occurs when we become a ministry of presence in the world, working with Jesus and working behind, beside, and with these young adults who are needing what we can offer. Won't you join with me? May this become the new vision and mission of Emmanuel United Methodist Church, to truly become a ministry of presence in the world. Thank you.